Going live. It said that we're live.
Okay, we're trying this again.
It says it.
And now the meter is going. We can see it pumping. All right.
Wait. I'm gonna.
Las
You talk.
Vegas
I'm gonna test.
Football team.com.
The Raiders.
Vegas. All right, we'll call it what
The
you
Raiders.
want. It's all about Raider Rob. I only say the name because it's in my name. Other than that, screw them cocksuckers right now. All right. And ever since they tried that Patriot shit, we're not going to rehash that. We thank you all that hung around or checking back in. We appreciate all of y'all that were on the first cut. Something happened, man. There's been a glitch, some type of booby trapping going on against us, and sabotage. But it's me, Raider Rob, beautiful black hole.
I can hear something now.
Okay, it's
on. We're actually officially audioed.
And your Uncle 420, Stoner Dude. Like, share, and subscribe. Maybe not this one. But our track record stands.
You can like it, but don't share it.
We put on great shows.
Yeah, normally we're great.
Look at some of our past shows.
Normally we're the world's #1 internet sports entertainment radio talk show.
Powered by Gen X. There's no fear here. We don't sugarcoat shit.
And you gotta love Raider Hater Rob's new hat.
He's been on my hat since I got it. Like I told you.
That hat. Wait a minute. I want to try
with my Swedish.
May I study that hat for a moment? It's an Ikea hat.
I'm gonna start something.
You've started something.
I'm gonna start something.
And
I want to be starting.
That is tarp material blue. My favorite tarp material color. Tarps have various colors. There's brown tarps and there's green tarps, but that is definitely tarp blue. One of my favorite plastic blues, man.
What are your favorite plastic blues?
I really do think you might be changing the world here on the internet. Turkey will certainly be wearing the new hat.
Our fans in Sweden. Where did you get the hat to like the rate the lot?
Where did you get that to hat?
Well, before we were so rudely interrupted, we had went through the shooting here in Las Vegas, 3 dead, 1 injured, and a great response by the Las Vegas local responders, the community, all of that. And it was sad that situation went down, and condolences to the families there with that. We had spoke about the Oakland Athletics having moved, or officially, since we were gone and last on the air, are officially coming tentatively. Still, anything could happen.
And I officially don't care. Let me ask you this.
Are moving to Las Vegas.
You wanted the Raiders to move to...
now Oakland's a sports desert, proverbially speaking.
You wanted the Raiders to move to Vegas at one time until they fucked it up.
Yeah.
Do you want, being a native, an Oakland native, who's lived in his whole entire life since a child, watching all the championships with... Reggie Jackson,
Sal Bando, all of them.
Yeah, I was there for the Hudson Boulder Zito years with Giambi in early 2000s.
Get it for the ring, though.
No, they can't.
They slide your ass in.
I got a real quick story about that game. I was literally in a hospital bed.
Oh, right. That was when
during the last playoff game. Of course, they were ahead, and then they were going to win the series. It was against the Yankees. I think it was against the Yankees. And it was against the Yankees.
Well, what you call hitting slide?
And I watched that whole thing from a hospital bed. It was like one of those old movies with little Timmy in the hospital bed and wanting his team to win it for the Gipper and all that kind of stuff. And I was literally in my hospital bed at the time in Alameda, California. And they lost that game. And I literally had all the nurses and interns and doctors were coming into my room because the energy was. I was watching the game. Right. I had all the A's energy in the. Yeah, they were like coming in like moths to
like one floor of the cuckoo's nest.
It was like. So, anyways, do you want the A's to move to Vegas?
No, I don't want the A's to move to Vegas.
RaiderFanRadio exclusive.
An expansion team. Las Vegas has proven that it responds. At least the population and the citizens here have shown that they respond to homegrown, franchise.
Vegas loves
homegrown entities.
Vegas loves to build. and they love to create. So
Yes,
yeah, I agree
yes.
with you 100%.
You know, but we've been
like
here,
they did with the Knights.
We've been here and watched the Aviators, the Triple A's, you know, as I call them,
the Triple Aviators,
the Triple A's, who are the farm team for our Oakland Athletics, the Aces, you know, which unfortunately Dr. Haircut owns.
Yeah, but he's got two championships. He's got two championships.
He knows what he's doing with women's
consecutive.
Basketball. We've said that here.
Yeah, he's good at that.
Football is clueless.
Absolutely clueless.
And then hockey, of course, VGK, defending Stanley Cup champions, you know, right now. So
that's about the A's. Honestly, it's like don't bother.
No,
I hope that something occurs where they don't move here.
Well, I hope Las Vegas will renege on the deal, you know, and look better at doing, like I said, the expansion route, where they're going to be, you know, much more of a favorable return and much more of an outpouring of support for, again, building another $1 billion stadium, you know,
right.
The second one within 6 years by the time it opens, if everything goes as planned. But you're going to lose money on the A's. There's no history of anything here.
Right.
Other than the year in 1995 when the stadium was being renovated, 96, when we played, the A's opened up the season and played at Cashman Field here in Las Vegas, their first homestand. It was supposed to be their homestand at the Coliseum until, you know, Mount Davis and everything was finished.
Right.
So
the Grill Father, I just noticed that.
Yeah, man.
The Grill Father.
The grill feast,
who is the Grill Father?
It is moi.
Moi.
I am the Grill Father.
You are the Grill Father.
That's right. And you will kiss my tongs.
Grills, grills, grills.
Yes. Hey.
Yeah.
You need to do that.
Yeah, let's do that.
That's a song right there. Grills.
My grill.
What do you think about the A's coming?
Hey.
I totally am not with the A's coming here. I don't want them to come here. Oakland's lost enough. I know they're going to go somewhere now because, you know, everybody wants to kick Oakland while it's down. But they have the greatest fans of all times and deserve to have franchises there. Really, sports franchises that honor their, you know, their investment, their commitment. So I'm not with the A's coming here, and I would rather they stay in Oakland. Yeah.
I mean, the novelty is not lost on me. That wow, you know, I get to, you know, ostensibly grow old into my golden years with the two teams that I grew up with coming here magically.
Right.
When, you know, we got here way before them. So, you know, blessing, you know, the cosmos, fate, destiny, whatever you want to call it. That novelty is not lost. So I don't besmirch it. I'll go to a couple games, I'm sure, you know, but I'm not returning to see the silver and black. You know, that's for damn sure. We were talking about them too before we got cut off, and you know, you guys couldn't hear us. But anyway, it's about Max Crosby.
Oh, wait! I have a Raider Fan Radio exclusive.
What? And
I'm willing to say it now because I do have reports. Our scouts out on the field that are watching the show. I.e. in this particular scenario, my brother Mutt, the lead singer for Bomb, has confirmed that right now, Raider Fan Radio, after a first failed attempt at not being live on YouTube, are now live on YouTube.
He's late. We know it. When are you going to come back and sit down here and join us?
Right. Join us with no audio.
Yeah.
No audio this time.
He's probably at Sunset Station playing fucking with the old Kino and some shit.
Thank you, Bud.
Thank you, Bud.
He definitely is a winner when it comes to these machines.
And so Stone was asking about Antonio Pierce, and we were talking about that whole thing. The Raiders are still in it.
Wait. Now I got to go back.
I didn't mean to say that.
I'm sorry, but I got to go back. And it is the Raiders. Before we get into Antonio Pierce, we've been hitting on a subject matter that I am now very passionate about and I want to know about. I want to know where's Chandler. Where is Chandler Jones doing all
What happened
this?
to Chandler Jones?
Because Chandler Jones at one time had a lot to say.
That's real.
And now we live in this day and age and modern time where Raider Hater Rob, as you had mentioned earlier on the show that did not get taped, that there is this new culture where we talk about mental health and we're automatically thrown aside as crazy and put labels on people.
Not making distinctions between mental health and emotional health.
Okay, yeah, not emotional health. So my point being is that right when Chandler Jones started off this crazy, abysmal season, that's where it is. But we'll get into where the Raiders are going. But I'm going to talk about a little bit where they've been so far to get to this point. Because ultimately, to me, that was that's been wasted time since day one. Since first of all, John Gruden's going to be going to court now. We've been supporting John Gruden 1,000,000% ever since the day that the NFL fucked him on national television.
Raider Meeks' birthday.
Made him on to be a racist, misogynist, homophobic, all that stuff, and completely besmirched his name and kicked him out of football, which is completely unprecedented. They did that to John Gruden, and we're still dealing and reeling with the aftermath ever since they're having to go out or Mark Davis getting Josh McDaniels, which we hated, of course, when that happened.
Fail.
And here we are now into the beginning of the second season with things already looking slim anyways, and we open up the season with Chandler Jones, the hot defensive end, veteran defensive end, that was going to be the bookend to Max Crosby for at least a couple of years, a dominant force in the NFL. But he comes out at the beginning of the season, had a lot to say, went on Twitter and the internet, and it threw
You don't know what happened to Chico.
I want to know, where's Chandler Jones now? They said he's crazy, and they made him disappear.
Right. And he's probably, like I did say before.
He wouldn't be the first motherfucker to disappear in the middle of the night in Las Vegas.
Right.
There are bones and bodies still out there.
There are drums
from 40 years ago, right? Go ahead, though.
He's in the same place where probably Kamala Harris
Where Vinny Capolini from the Milwaukee family has been.
Kamala Harris? Whoa. Kamala Harris.
What is it with you and Kamala Harris?
Man, where's your vice president?
Oh, you want to know I want to know where Chandler Jones is.
I have nothing to do with this. Nothing.
You want to know where the vice president is.
I want to know where she
is. They're probably together
you think she's
somewhere.
With Chandler Jones?
I think she's probably with Chandler Jones.
And they're both crazy, and they got a lot to say.
She was crazy to take that job.
So,
yeah, definitely. I would love to know what's going on.
If anybody can get this message to Chandler Jones,
come on, Raider Fan Radio.
We want to talk to Chandler Jones. Tell him to hit us at RaiderFanRadio@gmail.com. If you know where Chandler Jones is, if you see him somewhere this evening at a Chick-fil-A, at Home Depot, in his backyard again, butt naked. This motherfucker was in his backyard, butt naked.
Everybody wants to be in their backyard butt naked.
But we're interested in what he has to say. Because being a conspiracy realist myself, I'll give him the ear. Listen to me.
I want to know what Chandler has to say about all this.
Right.
I'm down with it.
Just, about everything. And it really, it's amazing how all of a sudden he's gone and there's no news. It's like there's no respect for anybody that goes. Really, it's just like what's going on with that team and with Patriots, former Patriots that seem to have a lot of mental issues going on. One that just recently was found, he possibly murdered his mother, and then another one that's flipping out. I mean, something in that Patriot water, and it definitely stinks.
Yeah, there's something in the Patriot water.
And they brought it to Vegas, and we've had to drain that fucking pool.
Yes.
Yeah, well, again, I'm glad Haircut at least did that. But we said that our last show. Keep it up more up to date. Antonio Pierce. Again, apologies for me. You grew up in Compton. I didn't know that. You were a Raider fan. I literally meant you weren't a real Raider to me as far as a connection to the team in any way prior to now. That's what I meant. But when you were a fan, I've been a fan for 40, 50-something years.
You should be coach.
I'm one of the most famous that are of the Raider Nation. I created the Raider Nation. And I man. See you around.
Raider Fan Radio exclusive.
You know, and none of our tailgates.
Yep, he was winning
prior to that.
He was beating the Patriots at the
He
Super
was beating the
Bowl.
Raiders too. I remember booing your ass.
I know.
when
He
you played
was-
for the Giants.
So,
But anyway,
I like his energy, his
I like his energy
attitude,
too.
and ever since he
But where's the
became,
imagination?
you're right. And ever since he became the head coach
That
for the
conservative
Raiders,
shit ain't gonna work.
no, you can't win games if you're not scoring points. But hey, I'm not saying he's going to be the coach of the future. He's got how many more games left? 5 games, 4 games.
Yeah.
By the time you see this, it's probably 2 games
Week 14.
each week. If they don't beat the Vikings,
You mean by the time they see it, they see it now.
No.
Bye.
by the time if they don't beat the Vikings, which they should, just like they were able to take care of the Jets and the Giants, I think at least they have a chance at home to beat a team that's a similar record, similar problems in their own house. But after that, man, December, all the rest of the month, it's looking deeper and deeper and deeper down the
Well,
hole.
like we were saying in the first audio version of tonight's show, he's an interim coach. Thing I never understood about interim coaches, a lot of them are new coaches. And I was referring to Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan when he got the job with the Niners, a number of other coaches who have been the exception. But a lot of these coaches get the job or get an opportunity to be in a situation where you're trying to show that you want to be the head coach. And they play conservative. They coach scared. And you can't do that if you're trying to impress upon your potential permanent boss that I want this job. You should be running all the plays you've ever imagined in your head, that you did in your backyard, that you and your friends talk about. Him being a player that played in the NFL, it's like you should be, I'm sure you've seen all kind of great offenses over the years.
I mean, you were in the Super Bowl, so
Twice.
So yes, and that was my thing is
You
you're
would
a
think you
Raider
would have an
fan.
imagination.
You
Go ahead, yeah.
grew up as a Raider
Right,
fan
right.
in Compton, California.
Compton,
If
CPT.
that's the case, then
Pretty
you should be
young
coaching like a Raider fan in terms of the mentality.
Right.
Instead, you're doing the same thing that all the coaches have done in the last 20 years, which is that conservative, non-vertical game Raider system. And that is not the Raider way.
Man, you need to be running trips right, trips left, 4 wide, all go, 50-yard post patterns. You have Devontae Adams. It is mandatory. If I was coaching that team, mandatory he gets 20 throws. Okay, period. 10 in the first 20 plays. All right? He's the feature, along with Renfro, along with Myers, along with that tight end, 2 tight ends, 3 tight ends in the route. Okay?
4
One
tight
going
ends.
15, one going 7 out, one going on a fade. Look up the works, man. Throw everything out there that you can imagine a play being offensively. I don't know who Peter Pencilneck is that we got it friggin' an offensive coordinator. Okay, but this motherfucker, he's up and down and some timey too. You gotta stop coaching scared, man. You could possibly get in as a wild card. And the way to do that is that when you got a young rookie quarterback like an Aidan O'Connell, you gotta give him a lot to work with. Not a little. Let's get right to the bottom line of what this motherfucker's about. You drafted him. He's forced into having to play. Then put all kind of plays out there for him, man. Ask him what he sees out there because he's in the moment, early stages of his development. All right? And you want to keep him fresh. You want to keep him interested. You don't want to have 1, 2, 3, 4 plays work, and then you just sit around and try to tweak those plays and get through 4 quarters of football with this little compartmentalized play calling, man. This is ridiculous that there's this trust issue that coaches have with guys that you are drafting for, a big part of it, their football intelligence. And he's a great quarterback at Purdue. Purdue is no way the NFL, I get that. But give this kid more to work with. Give him more choices. He's a rookie quarterback with one of, right now, the greatest generation of wide receivers in the NFL. And Devontae Adams.
Raider Fan Radio exclusive.
And he should be.
Raider Savage is watching live.
Raider Savage in the house.
Oakland Raider
Oh, you
Savage.
have got to be kidding. Oakland Raiders, that is an honor, sir.
And we got
Great to
Black.
see you.
Dino Mud is
Black
in the chat room chatting. So we got 2. Awesome.
But we had more. in that other version that got fucked up. But yeah.
Sticking around. There were about 1,000 viewers in the last round.
Thank you.
We're seeing what's happening now. Right now, there's just a few. So we're seeing.
But they're getting the notice.
See if they'll come back.
That's okay.
They didn't realize the show was going into overtime, and they left early. They thought we were out.
Mutt in the house.
Came back, Mutt in the house.
You know what?
So Aidan O'Connell was a young quarterback. Oh, go ahead, Phil.
No, just to add to your Aidan O'Connell breakdown. I didn't know who he was before he came here. I learned a little bit about him since then. And when I see Aidan O'Connell, I don't necessarily at all see the next Josh Allen or the next Justin Herbert. But I do see a confident, competent dude who really wants to be a quarterback for a team that has all the skills and just needs a little bit of coaching and maybe some physical training along the way. I think he's going to be around the NFL for a while. I don't think he's going anywhere anytime soon. I mean, put it this way. We see a lot of guys like Robert Griffin Jr. and all these other players that come out of college as the next big, they tout them as the next thing, the guy, the king of football, and they disappear. But so I like Aidan O'Connell, but just to imagine that he's going to get it all together before the end of this year and turn this team around.
It's not about getting it all together. It's about giving him enough plays to work with and enough opportunities to work in. He's sitting with he's playing with a generational wide receiver. What the fuck are we coddling him for? Give this guy work, man. Keep his brain active. Keep him in the game.
And he has been connecting with guys downfield.
He's accurate. He is accurate enough. He's accurate enough to manage the game. And with the weapons that he has, if you can continue to keep his confidence up, and like I said, give him plays to work with, factored in with giving him a broader offensive playbook to be able to select from too. That's on the coaches, about making and putting in plays where Renfro can get loose, where Devontae can get more loose.
Just recently,
execution has to be emphasized.
Execution. The last thing that I heard about Dobbs, who was going to be a rookie standing in the Viking game, was the coaches were trying to put a system together for him so that he could be successful based on his talents, based on what he could do.
So Joshua Dobbs.
Right.
Yeah, the first two games when he took over Kirk Cousins, he was playing lights out. But the game has caught up to him because the offensive playbook in Minnesota is not multidimensional.
Right.
And opposing defenses figured that out right away.
Right.
Well, you've got to be multidimensional in this league today with all the multiple defensive changes and schemes that come in play to play. It's not just a standard game of football anymore. There's a lot of substituting, a lot of situational packages and all that type of shit. And the only constant really is your quarterback. Your top-notch wide receiver, your top-notch linebacker, your boy Michael Parsons in Dallas, balling out.
Michael Parsons
a couple years ago and told us all that he was going to be a superstar. He has become that. Outside of that, the game is fluid.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying. You want to keep the quarterback's mind fluid by giving him a lot to work with, particularly when he's young and impressionable. Don't take a young player when he's young and impressionable and teach him a bunch of rigid bullshit and conservative ass parachute bullshit. And how to save himself in a stuck elevator type shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Teach a man how to get out of it. Stop with that fundamental, fakery.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? These are younger kids. They have more imagination. You've got to bring it out of them.
Yeah, you do
have to bring it out. Football should be much more imaginative now, particularly on the heels of the success of Madden, man. The game should look like that on the field, and it doesn't.
It doesn't. And it's not going to yet, but you have to do everything you can to ensure his success. You want to come out of this winning some games and giving him some confidence. You know that you're back in the same situation of needing a quarterback, like you were with Derek Carr, but you kept you kept that, what Tom Brady called him. You kept him, and now you're in a position where
you mean the motherfucker in New Orleans?
Yes, we need
that motherfucker.
We need to
Tom Brady's motherfucker.
Replace him. Right, exactly. We still need to replace him. So thank you for coming back. Welcome back to part 2 of the live. It looks like there's about 135 views right now. And
what's this, baseball? Everybody with the fucking stats. Where's the content?
John Gruden's lawsuit's going to be on January 10th.
Yeah! Is it going to be televised?
And we'll be
Where's
there
Lance Ito?
covering, because it's going to happen right here in Nevada. Now, I don't know if it's going to be in Carson City, but it is going to be in Nevada.
How far is Carson City from Vegas?
2 hours, one of
Oh,
these
that's too
ways.
far. But I don't know. I might want to go though. That's something. If I'm going to go somewhere, I'm going to go somewhere like that.
Check it out. I might be exact, maybe an hour and a half.
Forget the stats, but welcome back for this little part 2. And I'm looking forward to seeing, what ends up happening at the coaching. I don't know who else is out there that might come and end up being the Raiders coach. I don't know.
Well, we got to get through this season first. And
Yeah, that's the way I feel about
the
it
Las
too.
Vegas professional football team, they have a chance to possibly get in the playoffs. They are right on the outside of that in the hunt window. So
I think the list, whenever you're in a position like the Raiders are in, where there's this inevitability about a future head coach, when that day comes and the season's over, there'll be plenty of time to make those evaluations and to line guys up, because they're going to be lining up. A lot of dudes want to be the coach for the Raiders, maybe even John Gruden, maybe even Jim Harbaugh. But point being, what you just said, Raider head Rob, Antonio Pierce, he's the head coach right now of the Raiders. He's got a lot on his shoulders. Regardless of what the outcome is, he's at least proven to me that he's worthy of my support, and I want him to do good with the Raiders, because regardless of what happens, I want him to have a fruitful career, which I think he will. But right now, he's the head coach. He's at least got Raider fans showing up at the games, feeling like Raiders.
showing up to what game?
At the games.
Did you see the last game?
Yeah, it was more than
You
half.
mean he's got Chief fans showing up?
But he's got Raider fans
What is wrong with
he's
you
got
two
real
people?
Raider fans that are actually feeling good to be about Raiders. Just because you don't feel good about it, I'm telling you, I do. Ever since they got rid of Josh McDumbfuck, I've been extremely elated that he's not the head coach anymore. I'm still riding on that energy because it's all I have. Winning or
Oh my God! I got nothing else.
I got nothing else.
What could I do?
I got Antonio Pierce, at least make me feel a little good.
Right, don't take that away from me.
Yeah. I
You know?
don't have much to begin with, all right? I got my barn, I got a little bit of something to put in it, and I got a little bit of hope.
I know we'll probably have a few more things to chat about, but I did want to give a shout out to Bud in the chat room. He's talking about Jacoby Myers been showing the play, but Jacoby Myers is out of here as far as I know. He's gone.
Going where?
Is Jacoby Myers
Is the season over? What is it with you quitters?
And then
Raiders fans.
We got Raider Kenny in the
Raider who?
Raider Kenny.
Yeah, what's up, man?
And then Oakland Raiders Savage.
Oakland Raiders Savage,
Yes.
the new legend.
I
Of the Raider
appreciate
Nation.
The new legend.
I appreciate
Yes,
I like that.
Miss you guys. Raider Rob taking us to church every Sunday at the Coliseum.
Oh,
The
yeah.
original Black Hole tailgate.
Original.
Will always be up there in his
Raider originals.
So thank you
It's all
guys.
good. Yeah, love him, man. And say hi to your pop for us. The illustrious Mr. Ramos.
Yes.
Goes down in the house.
What else do we got?
Where we
Well,
at?
What do you
I
got?
wanted to say real quick to the NCAA.
NCAA. Really?
Fuck you.
Uh,
Because we've had another robbery in the NCAA again, continuing to prove how bogus it is. Okay, and I'm just saying this in general, but it applies to all sports. But particularly when you have an NCAA college football, a play-in situation, and this whole script of schedule and all that type of bullshit for politics that define who gets to play for national championships. And the NCAA college football magician has again screwed another team, much like they screwed us, Cal, in the senior year of Aaron Rodgers. That year when we should have went and been in the playoffs, other than Texas, where it's screwed Florida State this year, undefeated. Okay, undefeated, 13-0, and they got left out of the 4-team playoff for the national championship this year. Michigan's in, but they did it so they could put bitch-ass Alabama in the ring. Okay? Lost 1 or 2 games this year. I don't care what kind of tournament you're playing in. I don't care if Stones in the drum contest. He's playing against 5 of the drummers. If judges vote any of those drummers are lost, and Stone goes 5 rounds, 5-0, then he qualifies and should be in the final. If you're undefeated in anything, then it's the onus of whatever team some committee wants to put in there to try to beat you. But undefeated gets you in, no question. No fucking doubt. Fuck the NCAA, all the billions you make every year for fucking over Florida State just because you think they're not a significant school anymore as they once were in the years of Bobby Bowden and all of that. But the bottom line is, if you wanted to favor crybaby ass Nick Saban, all right, fucking bitch ass Confederates down in Alabama, fuck you. Fuck Paul Feinbaum and all that Crimson Tide bullshit. All right? 13-0, undefeated, qualifies you no matter what sport. I don't care if it's ping pong, jacks, if we're playing street hockey or fucking NCAA college football Division I. Undefeated is undefeated. And you belong in the tournament. Anyway.
You know what's even more important than that is that just recently, and we all know this now, one of the most late-breaking news that's changed the world is that KISS, the greats,
you're one of the best.
You got the best.
The hardest band in the world.
KISS. Although I still say it's half a kiss, but I give Gene and Paul all the credit in the world for carrying on their legacy and making their money with It was their idea all along. KISS was their idea. They get all the credit. But they went out there and they did it. They went to Madison Square Garden.
Into the world tour,
after the end of the road tour.
Into the road tour, right?
It's been lasting, actually, I believe, through even COVID. Or what it was, we still call it that? Or what?
Yeah, you can
the government calls it.
Yeah.
I call it, I didn't get it.
I got it twice. I still got it. So anyways, but who's really got it is KISS, or they've had it. They've been doing it for 50 years. I go back to the early 70s. I'm a KISS Army soldier from many, 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 many years ago. Their first wave in the 70s when they became one of the greatest bands in the world at the time. Certainly the greatest rock show in the world. Hard to really compare them. I know there was Parliament Funkadelic and a few other bands that had some very elaborate shows.
Casablanca, they were on Casablanca Records together, speaking of.
That was all about the show. All about the show. But it was their final bow. They finally did it. They're Gene and Paul are in their 70s now. They're like my dad's age, who's still alive, God bless him. But
I know. Rocking too.
Can you imagine your dad or your mom 75 years old or 76 years old getting up like Gene Simmons does in dragon boots and armor and giant bat wings and gets hung by wires and breathes fire and spits blood the way he does and has over the years? One of my favorite performers and characters with the face that he created of all time. I think it's probably one of the most iconic characters of all time. Right. But thankful that we got to live through it. And you know what? There does come a day.
Like you got to live through it.
Yeah.
I mean,
does
the public know how much you got to live through it? I mean, I love it. You're modest and, powered by Gen X, we are modest, because we're so confident about what we're doing. But, your ego as you get older and you patting yourself on your back for your accomplishments does sometimes wane a little bit. But we've been in illustrious company, all three of us, and we've had magnificent journeys, meeting people and touching the sky.
And the journey continues.
The star culture of America and pop culture and all that. And this guy has been right up, inside of it in a personal way to the point of putting on all that armor and putting on all that costuming. And through all the years of instruments that Gene Simmons went through, he at some point a few years ago comes to a fork in the road of needing designs for a few of his guitars. And as the cosmos and the world and the journey that has been, like I said, a fascinating, improbable one for all three of us. Stone in his journey ends up what?
I had the opportunity and the honor to paint 3 different bases, because I'm an artist, as you all know, to paint 3 bases for Gene Simmons.
Yes.
And we'll get some pictures.
Tell it.
We'll get pictures up on one of the.
No, there'll be no pictures.
The future show.
Yeah.
The future. I'll just put some
We'll do
pictures
the
up.
next one, yeah.
But yeah, man, really more to the point is when you talk about forks in the road and the cosmos. It all just makes the whole thing that much more personal for me as an old school Kiss fan from being a kid to seeing the end of their tour, to knowing their story, and even just like you, Raider Hater Rob, have turned your back completely against the Raiders and said, I hate them, I'm done. I did that to Kiss at one point. He could kiss his black ass, apparently.
No, that's my back. Don't bring race into this.
I always bring race into this. Race is important. Anyways, but back to the point of, being an old school fan your whole life and being in your 50s and seeing the journey and getting a chance to be even a little bit close to your heroes or people that you at least certainly are entertained by and look up to and have some kind of fascination with. You know, that doesn't necessarily mean they're your heroes and you want to be like them, but I certainly wanted to be like Gene Simmons and as far as entrepreneurship and taking a dream and seeing it through to the end, all the way, literally.
He's a master of branding. You know, branding's been a big thing the last 10, 15 years. Kiss and Gene Simmons particularly, you know, had a very idealistic, you know, much like Al Davis, visionary type of view about, you know, how to expound and how to capitalize. Some of it, of course, in the case of Kiss, you know, has been criticized as being cheesy or a little.
Well, they got coffins and toilets and
some
dolls.
of that shit though is ingenious, man. You know, some of that shit is ingenious that he's come up with. You know, the Kiss lunchboxes were ingenious. I think the carpet is ingenious too. It's its own culture.
Yeah.
You know, him and Paul and Peter and Ace too, can't forget them two, Ace Fairley and Peter Chris, created a universe that's living on now and will continue to live on, you know, but they created its own universe like we did with Raider Nation that has its own rules, has its own speciality, has its own, you know, personalities, has its own, you know, citizenry, the Kiss Army, like you said. So, you know, that stuff works for that world, that universe. You know what I'm saying? Just like there's certain things that are just, you know, germane and just, you know, ingrained in the spirit of a Las Vegas, you know, silver and black fan. You know, that goes back to Oakland.
See, I compare Kiss in a way to the Raider fans when I first came to the Raider games because they were silver and black. Number one, first and foremost, Kiss wore silver and black their first early years. And they were obviously crazy characters with the makeup and all that kind of stuff. And so when I saw Raider fans for the first time in skulls and just, you know, they're it's like Halloween. It's scary. It's got a dark kind of lean. And I love that about the fans because that's how the fans are. They emulate Gene Simmons. Someone who is the late, great Louis Reyes from here in Vegas. He was known as Gene Simmons. He was the fake Gene Simmons. He dressed as Gene Simmons, and he went to Raider games and became very popular because he looked exactly like Gene Simmons from the Destroyer era with the armor and the dragon boots and everything. And then he moved to Vegas. He started a band called Sin City Kiss. And they were successful for a while. Louis Reyes died about 2 years ago. But I think about the Raider fans, and I think about Kiss, I think about Louis Reyes. So I had to bring up his name. But you know, this all goes back to talk about taking these cultures or these artistic type of, what would you call them? I guess culture, artistic culture, where they take all these things and put it together. It's very visual. He took all that from Kiss and from the Raiders and made it his own thing. And so even though he's not with us, he had a very fun, awesome life, and I love the dude.
Let me ask you this, so as Kiss finally kissed off, do you believe?
Yeah.
Is this it?
Yeah. Kiss. I mean, come on, they're getting their limbs replaced and things like that at that age in their life. I'm sure this might even be things that, I'm sure that Gene Simmons or Paul Stanley don't tell you their EKGs or whatever, their personal, just like we didn't know about Neil Peart. Not saying that they are sick, but the point being is that they're at an age where that kind of stuff just has to be a factor in your daily decision making. So yeah, they're done, man. Kiss is done, but like Al Davis and the Raiders after Al Davis and everything else, Marvel Comics after Stan Lee, Kiss will live on forever as a brand. And somehow, somewhere or another, I have this certain hope or faith that either they leave something behind or there'll be a new generation that will run with it, just like they do with the Raiders.
Well, that's what Gene Simmons said he always wanted, right? He said that the characters, in part, were created in a sense, or eventually it became him and Paul's, agreement that with the characters, they could be continued on with different musicians.
Especially with AI and musicians and young people.
Well, with musicians wearing, the paint themselves, at least at one time he checked out.
Here's a question. Can you think of a more identifiable...
God's in the house! God's in the house!
What's a more identifiable face than Gene Simmons when it comes to makeup? Like a made-up face, like in history.
Right.
Who has a more identifiable face that's as identifiable as Mickey Mouse's ears? Those black lines and the point, and he had the perfect face and the build for it and everything like that. A combination of horror movies and comic book characters. Art's out there. He's the dude. Art. I have to say a lot about Art, man. Raider Art helped.
Love your Art.
He helps us so much with Raider Fan Radio now for over 20 years. And he also created our Facebook page. So you can now go to our Facebook page and you can be our friend. Or follow us.
You can like, share, and subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Because Raider Art made that possible. And Gonzo in the house, we say what's up to
Gonzo's Chiefs beat us here in Vegas
about
a
week
ago.
Did he come to the game? Were you here, Gonzo?
Did you come
Did
to
you
the
come to
Chiefs
Vegas and
game?
didn't fucking hook up with us, man?
Because there were a lot of Chiefs.
If that's the case, I'm flying
There's a lot of Chiefs.
Wherever the fuck you're at. There were a lot of teams. It was a lot of red. It was a lot of red. Too much red.
Way too much.
Who's the next team that comes?
Minnesota.
Oh, come here.
The Purple People Eaters.
There'll be a lot of purple here. Because if you see the commercials, like Stone said, they're advertising. They're like, come to Allegiant. They don't even say Raider game. They say, come to Allegiant Stadium.
Yeah.
It's a 5-minute walk from MGM, and you could party right here. And the Raiders are not even a factor.
Now, they got a bar downstairs in the end zone.
Right.
The end zone at Raider games historically, especially in Oakland, is where the most hardest core fans, the vociferous, rageful, ready to get into the heads of opposing teams. That's the end zone areas. Co-founded right here by our own Raider hater Rob, whether he wants to admit it or not. But the point being is that, and then they come to Vegas and they take work. Not only do they not have the black hole like they used to, but now they just got Gorilla with a beach towel that says the black hole on. He shakes it around.
Right.
That's the black hole. It used to be, you've seen the pictures. Go online right now. Getty Images. We'll show you pictures of Raider Rob and Black Hole Rob and the rest of the black hole in full black hole mode. That's what the Raider games were about. Now, not only do you not have that in the south end zone as much as nowhere near that you used to, the north end zone's a bar. So you don't even have that group of fans that are right there on top of the action, becoming part of the game.
Right.
And that was something that
I resent that.
Like Kiss or like the Raider Nation, the black hole. That was something that, right now should be in that incarnation of the young ones. But there's dissension between, the original, people who are, left behind or who are still living. There's, dissension and split between, the living heir, so to speak, of Rob Rivera's legacy and Dave Monzo's legacy. Right. You know what I'm saying? And then there's us that are involved too, and unfortunately have had to take our side or what have you. And I, for whatever it's worth, don't see, and it's worth a lot because I'm black hole like a motherfucker, and, I could be making a stink too. But I don't like some of the shit I've been hearing when it comes to what's going on with the operations of the black hole. Because there are people that are, not involved that should be. And there are the children of certain people of the black hole whose names I don't hear when I hear a lot of things about the black hole associations, that names you should be hearing.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
That weren't there. We watched them grow up.
Exactly. And so, it's like a lot of other tensions that you've had with certain groups, from Pink Floyd to, Van Halen to,
all the greats,
burger chains and, people that have split, that started McDonald's and, all that shit, just great entities.
I gotta read this to you, Rob.
It's not reaching its full or hasn't reached its full potential and what our plans were.
Right.
And what some of the planned meetings that we had. Right. About the future of the black hole 20 years ago. Right. Before, like I said, people that are involved now were even in the fucking picture. Right. What's going on, Stone? You got a reading?
Yeah, reading.
Where are we at? The library?
Yeah. This is from Radar Art, and I agree with him though.
What does he say? Hi, Art.
It's a heartfelt, warm message that I completely concur with. I dig your hat, Rob. Please don't be hater Rob forever.
Oh, thank you, Art. Thank you.
Have we talked about the hat since we did the new show?
Listen.
Did I talk about that?
Show number 2?
I'm incognito right now. Okay? I've been looking at some property.
I gotta write that down.
Okay.
You gotta, what do you call it? You gotta copyright that shit. Incognito.
Anyway.
But it is a beautiful tarp blue, like I said. I want to reiterate that.
You said that is the audio version of
That's it. That's it. It's like, I know if it's raining outside right now, and I just got to look around. I would just grab that hat, and I would feel confident for the rest of the day.
Gonzo was not at the Kansas City game.
Well, why weren't you?
He said someday soon. Mutt said he looks like Lions Rob.
Lions Rob. It does. It's got that Detroit Lions blue in the screen. In the screen.
I was going to say when you were talking about
Lions.
We're going to run
Lions Nation.
You know who's been? Hey.
I just wanted to get a response.
Who's been out and who's done has been a lot of the marquee players in the NFL. Number one, the NFL this year has sucked. There's been some crappy, shitty football being played. Okay.
When you got to rely on crappy, shitty football being played so that you can maybe get into the playoffs at the last second, that's some crappy, shitty football.
Yeah. And then you've got a lot of the marquee players that tried to get my boy Trevor. I love you, Trevor. Blonde Bomber. I was 2 inches from the TV Monday night watching you.
He's fine.
You luscious. I know he's all
right. Was his luscious blonde locks flowing in the wind?
I'm online with a neighbor of his who keeps me abreast of what's going on over the fence. You gotta be right. I'm serious. You think a man in a hat like this would be selling things? Okay. Anyway,
Negro.
All these freaking, Deshaun Watson, Kirk Cousins. I don't know if he's marquee. I guess maybe up there.
Kirk Cousins is basically Tony Romo. He's never going to win anything. He got his money.
Joe Burrow, Aaron Rodgers, as we know, he got what? 20 to 30, 45 seconds as a Jets quarterback this year.
Barely.
The former lemon of the Las Vegas Silver and Blacks, who is down there double parked now on the injured list. Derek Babyhead, what do we call him? Babyhead Carr. Okay. And a number of others. Justin Jefferson. But all these.
You're not getting what you're paying for.
Von Miller. All these players, man. What the fuck is going on with the fragility of these NFL players. What is it? Is it calcium?
They don't have. They're not eating their Wheaties.
Are they Philistines? What the fuck is going on out here?
No Wheaties. No
That's right. The
spinach.
end is coming. Get ready for it and get your hat like this. You'll make it through. Armageddon.
You got to get what do you call it? A sponsor.
Right.
I am sponsored.
Ikea. We need Ikea to sponsor.
Sweetest furniture, baby. I'm
Well,
moving this
we will wear all Ikea
for a nominal fee. Yes, we will.
made out of tarp.
Yes,
blue tarp,
we will.
Classic blue tarp.
Make that go viral. We are lobbying for an IKEA commercial where all three of us and our whole set is IKEA out in the material by the. I want to let people know too, as a promotional consideration, IKEA bags. Okay, they are good for moving. Okay, they are sturdy. They are unrippable. Okay, and you can really stuff them if you know how to pack shit. And yeah, IKEA bags, they stack real good, made out of the same material. Anyway, we're down to do a commercial for you for a nominal fee. All right, call us. And we'll
I think Incognito is taking off today too.
Is it? All right, you got to be careful when you use that now. First of all,
I think you're
really
such a
looking to be a
trendsetter.
Huh?
You're such a trendsetter.
You're such a trendsetter.
like I said.
Yeah, can you believe that?
Only a brother trying to stay out the way would ever handle it like this.
It's been great to, get together with you guys. I'm not trying to wrap it up. Just like
You might as well.
No, we're not going anywhere. We gotta give people a full show here. We still got about
What
10
else
more
do you
minutes.
got? Oh my God, you got like a whole poster board.
Well, what do you
full of
guys make
shit.
of this though? On the real, the marquee players in the NFL and some of the play this year. How have you guys been viewing the league? If you've been paying attention,
I think that
sound like you two have been in the pinochle league or some shit.
Yeah, because I thought Jacoby Meyer was out, but
I thought Jacoby Meyer was a law firm.
he did get Jacoby and Meyer.
I like it that all these stars are out.
You know?
I think it's great. I think it fucks up Vegas odds. It throws big wrenches in the gears. I say bring it. Give me your third string. I mean, put it this way. How many Raider seasons since the first Gruden run and the Super Bowl, the Warren Callahan run, which was really run by the veterans on the team. But since then, how many years have we seen like first, second, third string players at every position? I think I saw literally a season in Oakland, 2006 or so, 7, 5, where we were literally hiring guys that week that were bagging groceries and working in warehouses. And I saw guys like that getting up on the field and playing in an Oakland Raider uniform.
Right.
And they were out there just bouncing around and putting in way more work than Marcus Peters. That's for sure. I'll say that. But the point being, we've seen Rick Meyer. We've seen Rob Johnson. A lot of people like
I saw them both on one night. The same fucking night.
The night of Brett Favre's big famous Monday night, miracle. We all knew in the parking lot what was going to happen before the game.
Right.
And by the end of the game, we saw, I think, Rob Johnson on the field for the Raiders because we were that
Both of them played.
Both Rick
And then
Meyer.
Rob Johnson got hurt, and Rick Meyer came back in.
He came back in after he had already been gone. That's bad.
Raider Stump, Joey out there. Well,
Raiders stuff, what's up, baby? He was there that night. He remembers.
Raider had played out in the parking lot like we always did. It was Monday Night Football, so it was a big deal, even though we sucked that year. And literally, I was packing up my drugs. All the fans were going into the stadium. It was the very first time I ever said to myself, just take your time, put your shit away, load your truck, hang out, eat some leftover food from the tailgate. You don't want to go in there. That's what I told myself. That's not going to be a fun room to be in tonight. If for some reason Joey Raider Stump was thinking the same thing out of all these people, and at the end of the game, it was just me and him listening to a little small radio with Greg Papa doing the play-by-play. While we were out in the parking lot looking at the lights, I could hear the roar of the crowd and the noise that was being made. Just everything that we felt that day all happened to fruition, and then some. It kept pouring on and pouring on and pouring on. So when you talk about backup players, I don't care. I want to know who's going to play that day, and hopefully it's going to be a competitive game. Well, that's because the whole modern generation in the culture of football has been pussified, as beautiful black hole Steph has been saying for years and years.
Yeah, it is the pussification for sure. That is what's happening, and it's very boring to watch. I can't. I'm really starting to get disinterested. Like I did with the NBA, same thing. It's not the same exciting, fundamental game anymore. And yeah, a lot of the players are weak, and get very fragile. They're dropping like flies, actually. It's hard to watch that. And they're also being micromanaged by these new coaches and the league. They're starting to discuss. I saw on one of the football news sites, he said that they're going to be looking again at the old, what is it, the push, the booty,
the tush push,
the push. They're going to look at that again in the offseason and see if they can maybe tweak that too. I mean, they tweaked the game to the point where
they're a bunch of tweakers now. Like they've been on crack for 20 fucking years, keeping out their windows and fucking pulling out their hair and selling their children and their VCRs for the same price on the corner.
Right.
The NFL is cracked out. No, I don't know if that's what you said. Don't follow me. I'm not a leader. Do your own thing.
Well, since we are live today,
we are live
today on this day of December 7th, 2023. The year is winding down.
A day will live in infamy.
Friday, tomorrow, for those of you who are in Vegas live, you can go see the band Bong. That's my band, Bong. Our new t-shirts, as you can see. Bong has t-shirts. Will be performing, and that is my brother Mutt out there right now listening in. And he's a singer and writer and creator of the band. We got James Jaime Sperry playing guitar. And for our first time, we got a new bass player we're playing with us tomorrow. His name is John Stenberg, and he is a badass Vegas bass player who's come on to learn all our stuff, and he sounds really great doing it. We love playing with them. We'll be at the Dive Bar at 9 o'clock sharp, Friday, December 8th. Make sure you get there early before 9 so you get a place to hang. Yeah. We will hang with you, of course. And the headliner of that night is the very famous old band from the 80s, Green Jelly. They were a band that came out in the, like I said, in the early, mid-'80s into the 90s and came up with a lot of very popular, what we kind of know as kind of comedy, hard rock, metal, punk. Oh, okay. It's a mixture. They got costumes and cool imagery that go. They put on a show. It's crude, fun, and just really entertaining with a lot of fun comedy and humor to go with it. With a lot of great players, of course, and musicians. So once again, the Dive Bar on Maryland Street in Las Vegas, 9 p.m. Friday night, December 8th. Come see Bar.
Let's do this justice. It's South Maryland Parkway on the corner of Flamingo.
Yes.
Between Flamingo and Rochelle. Okay.
There's a Popeye's chicken on the corner.
This guy here.
He took it to the next level. Don't go to Popeye's.
But there's one on the corner if you're talking about landmarks.
It's a great spot, man. It's a legendary bar here and a venue here in Las Vegas. And yeah, Stone, there's
also a huge dispensary.
Yeah, right
huge. Right next door to the Dive Bar. You can't miss it.
That's Passport.
Yeah.
Peso.
It's the Dive Bar.
Yeah.
But yes, looks like Green Jelly, they got together in 1981. Of course, they go back, and this will be interesting. It'll be a great show. Definitely. For have bands like that, 4 bands on a bill like that in a small place like that, it's going to be definitely a very unique energy, to say the least. Get out there to the Dive Bar tomorrow night. Check out Bong. Check out Green Jelly. And all bands that are going to be playing there that night. It should be hot. It gets you excited for the game coming up on Sunday.
Yeah, if you're here in town.
Yeah.
The Vikings game. I think I'm going to that game.
Is it a 1 o'clock game or is it a 10 o'clock
I put
game?
it's a 1 o'clock game because it's here locally. I think I'm going. I'm not sure yet. I'm putting out my energy into the universe. Right? I'm a Raider fan. I need a free ticket energy. Maybe.
People are live.
Maybe somebody out there
Was you trying to get right?
will give me a free ticket to the Raider game. I'll owe you something. I'll give you a Raiderhead CD or something. I promise. Something.
This dude turns down free tickets all the time.
Well, I want to go.
Hey, I want to tell you all, since I've been hating on the Las Vegas Silver and Blacks, I've been watching a lot of alternative sports, and I love sports in general. But I've lately been getting into the National Lacrosse League, the NLL. The fast-paced action lacrosse, of course, is a version of hockey and football on steroids, and that's an old cliche. It's like hockey and football on Percocet. Okay. Anyway, outside of Tyreek Hill right now, and the Dolphins were just killing it, in the National Football League, along with the 49ers, unfortunately. The Cowboys playing great. But anyway, I've been getting the bar of the National Lacrosse League, and the most exciting athlete right now, and I think you all need to check him out, is Blaze Reardon. Veteran winger, Blaze Reardon is his name. And he plays for the Philadelphia Wings of the National Lacrosse League. The season just started a few weeks ago. And I've been watching the last 3 games that he was in. And this cat is just exciting, man. Like I said, outside of Tyreek Hill, again, the dynamics of lacrosse, of course, the athleticism, the physicality, all of it. If you're in the lacrosse, you understand, what it takes to be at 6 foot.
Does anybody know anything about lacrosse? That's my question.
Agile. This guy is so agile, so big, but agile. And I mean, gets in the middle, can put moves on with the ball, great stick handler, great passer, exciting, like I said, entertaining. Just, for the bang for the buck right now, because I don't watch the NBA no more. I'm declaring the second most exciting athlete, pro athlete on the planet right now.
You're declaring it.
Yes! As one of the all-time great sports fans and noted sports fan personalities and aficionados on sports
a declaration.
In the mid-1970s, KICKIN. Blaze Reardon of the Philadelphia Wings.
Well, I declare.
The second most exciting pro player on the planet right now. What? Well, I thought you guys said so.
Oh my God.
I did. Here's what I said. So what else do we have to talk about that's not lacrosse?
I said lacrosse. What? I put out there. I said lacrosse. Anyone? And what said? I wear Lacoste.
I saw lacrosse alligator.
Right. Yeah. 14.
Alligator shirts.
Well, before we go, man, let's just roll out of here on this note. Some real joyful, uplifting
RaiderFanRadio exclusive
to 2 people who meant a lot to all 3 of us in some way or another. First, at 101 years old, we've been introduced to the great Hollywood legend and icon of film and television, producing, writing, and directing, the great Norman Lear, passed away at 101, and a man who created, of course.
That's a great run, by the way.
Yeah.
I made it to 101. I've lived a very comfortable, creative life where I got to be a legend and leave my mark on humanity.
Changed Hollywood.
Yeah.
Pioneered a lot of just what became television after the mid-1970s as far as content and subject matter, what have you. He was a producer and creator, of course, of All in the Family, of the Jeffersons, of Sanford and Son, and of Maude.
You do Good Times too? Do you do Good Times?
And Good Times too, yes. All these shows that dealt with subject matter.
That's the whole
40 years ago that you motherfuckers are still fucking arguing and fighting about and even killing over now. That we had already gotten past, had already dealt with them, and had gotten to a place where everything was at least neutral. on culture, race, issues of differences of politics, all of that. He went a long way on producing the shows back then that touched on those things and helped keep America somewhat balanced down here on the ground floor where we all are, interacting and living together. You know what I'm saying? Those shows just were great in helping give America a balance in all different cultures, a balance and understanding about each other. His shows did a lot to do that, man. And so he will be greatly missed, Norman Lear. Of course, I know you love Sanford and Son.
Oh, Sanford and Son was one of my favorite. I still watch it. I still watch a lot of the old shows.
Coming, Elizabeth. I'm ready. I'm coming.
I'm coming to join you, honey.
I'm coming to join you.
Whatever on my back.
Yeah. And Maud, who, was one of the first feminist characters outside of American Idol on television, but who really pushed that envelope of, implanting the idea that a woman could challenge a man in social situations to take the lead, of the household too, and also be, kind, respectable, and, all that honorable, but, just don't take no shit. And particularly I'm no man.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And that was the same with Florida Evans too, with Good Times, and with Weezy Jefferson too, and of course Marlon Gibbs playing the housekeeper.
Raider Rob.
Yes.
It just makes me think.
Stoner guy.
Raider Hater Rob. I'm sorry. I apologize. As we sit here talking about Norman Lear and some of these favorite TV shows that we all love and can laugh and talk about all the time, I kind of get this feeling that as I get older, and as that you and I get older, I feel I'm becoming a lot more Archie Bunker, and you're becoming a lot more George Jefferson. I feel that kind of where we're going with this.
Look, I am Fred Williamson and Nigger Charlie till the day I die. Okay, and after that it's Mandingo, and then it's fucking no. Man, I've always been George Jefferson.
I was born George Jefferson.
But I truly wish we could all get along like Rodney King, late great Rodney King.
Yeah.
Brought us all to it, like I said. I lament
cried
25, 30 years ago because there was a lot more racial understanding and unity and cultural understanding. Like I said, Norman Lear shows was part of that, that culture. We grew up in that, and I'm just grateful and thankful that we all got to live that life. And hopefully these young people will try to make a move to bring that type of sensibility back to America. Lord knows they're communicating with each other enough through that damn thing. Get on there and let's talk about some real shit, changing the world. Use it for that.
Well, full circle, you went from Norman Lear back into the 70s, roundabout, back into KISS, because that's 70s.
And we got to say something about a great character of radio, even though it was a seminal peripheral character. I would consider and always consider him a star and a player of one of the great radio shows in the history of radio. The Howard Stern Show lost one of its great contributors and members of that whole community and universe, and Ralph Cirella, who passed away, unfortunately, a couple days ago at 58.
58 years old.
I was a fan of the Stern Show, listened to it for years.
That's the hardest part. When you see people die.
You got serious.
You see people that die that are your age. It's like, what the fuck is that all about?
Well, especially now, I would suggest people stay away from experimental medications. And that's likely that's the situation. So, with a lot of them, the guy from
the Prince of Liechtenstein, he's 51, he dropped out.
Right.
The brother, the Prince of Liechtenstein.
Oh, that guy.
He's suddenly gone.
It sounds like the House of Frankenstein.
It's like God said, you better get with that natural immunity.
Use what God gave you, because He gave it to you for a reason. But anyway, on a happy note, here in Las Vegas, we have another sports team, another professional team. It just keeps coming and coming and coming. We can't stop. We're blowing up. It's insane how many pro sports we have. And now it's one of my favorite sports, women's professional volleyball.
Oh, yeah.
Like to give a
Recon.
A Las Vegas Silver and Blacks fan radio show.
RaiderFanRadio.
Welcome to the Vegas thrill of the Professional Volleyball Federation.
I'm telling you right now, you're going to love
I'm going to be there.
volleyball for a lot
I
of
am
reasons.
there. I love volleyball.
I'll be right there with
I
you.
love women's volleyball. I even had an idea for a volleyball league.
I got one to add to that to wrap up the show with. Not only is that coming out, which I'm looking forward to, of course,
I am to the Vegas
but
thrill,
the new, what used to be, started off and originated as the lingerie football league.
Oh, yes.
Way back
baby.
when.
I'm a day one.
And then eventually
day one.
now they're called the Legends Football League.
Right.
And there's also the X League, which is the American teams, which tryouts are in June. Tryouts I think are in May for the June season. But these chicks, man, play football. These are built like real Greek goddesses, statuesque, strong, powerful people that are going out there really hitting. I know none of you, unless you love the game. Some of you do, but would go out on the field.
I was a fan of the Vegas Vixens.
Get tackled by these shits, man.
I was a fan of the Vegas Vixens.
So anyways, that season's coming too. So we got a lot of
When does it start? June.
Okay. June. Go to xleague.com.
And the Professional Volleyball League team, that starts in January, and the Vegas Thrills' first home game will be February 15th. They'll be playing at the Dollar Loan Center, and they'll be playing against teams from Atlanta, I think it is, or Omaha, the Omaha Supernovas.
Omaha.
Yeah, you got the Supernovas, man. You got the Atlanta Pride or some shit. A lot of teams, man. Anyway, is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Why don't you wrap us up and take us out of here, beautiful black girl Steph?
Well, thank you everybody for coming to the live in the desert.
Shout out IKEA Hack Department.
Shout out to all the people in the nation, and shout out to everybody that joined us in the chat room all around the earth here. That is not a sphere, but we.
But is it flat?
It is a sphere, man.
We'll see you next time on show number.
The earth is an oblate spheroid.
Right here at RaiderFan Radio YouTube. Like, share, and subscribe. And eventually one day somebody will finish our website. Peace, everybody.